I'm Kevin Berger from Lockport, New York, Niagara County. I was diagnosed 2008 with IPAH after several years of fighting it, not knowing what was going on. Although it's been undetermined, I became ill through the military, actually exposed to chemicals. Since then, I've been working towards getting better. My diagnosis came about after several attempts, several hospitals in the Buffalo, New York area, unable to find my reason for not being able to breathe and the chest pains. They told my father and mother that they were sending me home. My father actually got quite upset and said, "No, you're going to find what's causing this." Doctor told me we have one test that you've never been given, and that's the right heart cath test. He explained to me what was going on with it and how it would work, but he ended our conversation that day with, "I highly doubt you have what this test is going to show. You're too young, you're in too good a shape, and I just don't feel in my gut," he said, "I don't feel like you have this condition." I never thought to ask the condition. I was just glad somebody had found a new test to do. The next morning, I went in for my right heart cath, very early in the morning. They had the results by 10:30 in the morning. The doctor came in, stood over me in the bed, and his exact words were, "Mr. Berger, we found the cause of your difficulty in breathing and your chest pain." Of course, I was ecstatic. I said, "Finally, we have a cause. If you find the cause, you can find the cure, right?" My exact words. His response was no. And with tears in his eyes, he said, "I'm sorry to tell you there is no cure for this disease." I said, "Well, come on, there's always got to be a cure for it." He said, "No, not only is there no cure for this disease, but even more so, you probably have about 3 years on the outside to live." Needless to say, I was quite shocked. Not the outcome I had expected, not the outcome I had hoped for. We finished our conversation with him telling me I not only need to get my affairs in order, but he would like my family that I could get gathered to come in so he could speak to them and tell them the seriousness and explain to them the seriousness of the disease. I laid in bed that day until my family came, literally crying. I couldn't believe they were telling me I had 3 years to live. We had our meeting with the family the next morning. My daughter flew in from California. They sat everybody down, explained to my parents, to my daughter, my wife, myself, what was going to happen from that point forward. And from that point forward in the Buffalo area, there was no doctors available for pulmonary hypertension. Closest doctor was Rochester, New York, about an hour away. But other than that, my other option was Cleveland Clinic. We had just moved to the Buffalo area. Not even a year at that point. We had lived in New York. Not knowing exactly how far Cleveland was, I opted for the hour drive versus what turned out to be a 3.5 hour drive. And I went to see Dr. James White. His very first words, and I'll never forget, he looked at me and he said, "Forget what you've heard. If they told you 3 to 5 years to live," he said, I guarantee you, I will make you live longer." I just finished my 8-year anniversary 2 days ago. My pressures went from 115, I believe, 118. I'm now at 50. I feel great. Although I still wear oxygen, I don't always need it. I went from having to use a mobility scooter and a wheelchair continuously to being able to walk upwards to 5 miles in a day. I have difficult days. It's not that the pH has gone away, because it won't go away. But with the new medication, my life has improved tremendously. After 4 years of struggling with the fact that I was sick, struggling with depression, struggling with the idea that I was alone in my community, that no other people had this, being told it was a very rare disease, I met a young lady, Colleen Schnell, who ran a support group. She invited me to the group meeting. I'm not a big fan of going to support groups, but she convinced me to come. I went to the first meeting, and it was very helpful. After that, for a few years, I continued to meet some people via social network, but I wasn't meeting anybody my age. I wasn't meeting any men with pulmonary hypertension. We had no network. There was no way to know what men had PH, who were caregivers, who were just visitors. There needs to be more for men. Within a few weeks, I started a social network group on Facebook called the PH Men's Fight Club. The PH Fight Club, the Men's Fight Club, is designed to bring men together that have pulmonary hypertension and to help us each deal with our own condition. It's evolved into quite the group. The Fight Club has evolved into not only a friendship of guys, but a wealth of being able to learn what others are going through. And we each help each other out with our condition. We have members from all over the world. We have members all ages, 18 and above. And we don't spend a lot of time necessarily talking about the negatives, but we spend a lot of time being positive and joking and having a good time. I learned in the course of all this from a counselor that laughter truly is the best medicine. So in the Fight Club, we do a lot of joking, a lot of teasing, but we do have our moments. And when a member is down, we rally behind that member. I've learned how to counsel men. I've learned how to be a mentor to men. I've learned how to listen to men, because that's the big thing, is being able to listen, not even necessarily provide any advice or even say anything, but just be there. I've learned that I have the capability to be compassionate and to be caring. I always knew I had that, having a family, but not towards strangers. The camaraderie has brought us very close together in the group, and I've learned what it means to be a part of something again. Awareness is everything right now. Being able to get out there and reach the men who are struggling, reach the men who felt the way I felt. Being able to raise that awareness and let the men know that there is somebody out there. There's a group of us out there that we're not like the women. We're not like the children of PH. We're a different animal without a doubt. And by that, we support each other in different ways. I'm a huge supporter of PH Aware. I'm a big supporter of the fact that they use social media to reach out and connect with people. I would like to see more men get involved with PH Aware. It's very important for me to say right here and now that PH Aware has a lot to provide this community. And we are one community. We might be from different groups, but we are one community. And we need to stick together as that community, no matter what our personal beliefs, whatever our political beliefs, our religious beliefs. We need to stick together as a community, because that's the only way we're going to ever beat this thing. My name's Kevin Berger, and I'm aware that I'm rare.